Birds, like all forms of biodiversity, make planet Earth such an interesting place to live in. Birds are also powerful indicators of the state of our environment, and they only survive in any given ecosystem if conditions are favorable. Conditions for birds and people are basically the same: a healthy environment. Vakastrom is a sleepy little village nestled among the hills and wetlands of southeastern province of Mpumalanga in South Africa. The pristine grasslands here are a home to numerous bird species and have been identified as an important bird area, the Grassland Biosphere Reserve. With an abundance of endemic species, Vakastrom is home to globally threatened birds. It is a habitat of immeasurable importance. Nigel Anderson, the manager of BirdLife South Africa's Vakastrom Training Center, believes Vakastrom exists because of birds.
People come here for recreation. Not everyone who comes here are birders, obviously, but they have heard about Vakastrom because of the birders. And they come down, it's close to Johannesburg. They come down for a weekend, they have a lovely, quiet, peaceful weekend, and that's why Vakastrom has developed.
Although the wetland is recognized as an important bird area, its biodiversity is experiencing undue pressure from the communities that live around it. Overgrazing and harvesting of grass is destroying the habitat. To reverse the trend, BirdLife engaged in capacity building as a key objective of its project in the town. The idea was to build a network of people within the community who value birds and the biodiversity found in the area. With this in mind, BirdLife South Africa started a guide training program at Vakastrom to train the local people and enable them to earn a living from the birds.
A main function that we do is we train bird guides. We train them and then they go back to their areas, and what they have to do is they have to go, and part of their tasks is to go back and try and educate the communities that they live in. They've got to go and teach the people the importance of conservation. And obviously when people start making money from birds, for example, then they start taking it seriously. Birds used to be seen by many people as just a source of food. But now, obviously, they're earning an income from the birds, so they're starting to conserve the area.
Maybe 2 every week.
Sahamuzi Mholongo is a graduate of Vakastrom Training School. He is a renowned bird guide at Zululand Birding Road in Richards Bay. He is not only experienced but has excellent observational skills taught at Vakastrom Bird Guide Training Center. The skills learned add much value to his birding clients.
It's a project of BirdLife South Africa.
My responsibility is to satisfy my client, to protect my client, and again, my responsibility is to look after my birds or to conserve birds and their habitat, because if I don't conserve birds, I'm not gonna make a living.
Kenya's Arabuko-Sokoke forest is an ecosystem that has escaped time. Here, different vegetation transcends generations. Spanning an area of 420 square kilometers, Arabuko-Sokoke is the largest and most intact coastal forest in East Africa. The frequent rainfall and hot tropical sun have made the forest one of the most extraordinary sights in Kenya. It's here where you get the real feel of an African tropical forest. The forests contain at least 3 distinct vegetation types: which provide habitat for 20% of Kenya's bird species and about 30% of the butterflies. It is an important bird area where BirdLife project has made a significant impact on both biodiversity conservation and livelihoods.
Arabuko Sokoke forest is a unique forest, and Nature Kenya history in that forest is long. One key role was fighting for anti-gazettement that the government had proposed for the forest, which would have put the 6 globally threatened bird species into jeopardy in terms of their conservation.
Although the forest has essentially survived for many decades, its resources have been declining. Extreme poverty results in heavy subsistence, demands for firewood and building materials. This has caused a vicious circle of degradation, too often seen in African tropical forests. Low level of awareness by the population is a major threat to this unique ecosystem. And to create awareness starting right from the grassroots, BirdLife has initiated environment education in schools. School-going children are taught conservation as part of their regular curriculum.
Good afternoon. How are you?
We are very well, thank you, sir. You are welcome.
Thank you very much. Seated.
So from Mweni, the Environment Education Officer visits an average of 54 schools surrounding the forest every month.
Still have a few parts.
He has been quite
up.
successful in outreach programs to the youth that enable them nurture their conservation ethics.
The objective was to make the community realize the importance of Arabuko Sokoke forest. As people have been living close to the forest, they have taken it for granted. They have not seen that it is a very, very important and a unique forest that needs to be taken care of. And there is need for children to know that this resource needs to be protected for the future generation too. So that's where environmental education was started.
To help people secure their livelihoods, BirdLife has introduced sustainable forest-based income generating activities to better help the local communities make use of the forest in a more sustainable fashion. Ngoa is a successful beekeeper. He lives at the edge of the forest. With proper training, he has managed to successfully improve and market his honey harvest. He knows very well that no forest means no honey, and no honey means no money. BirdLife has taught Ngoa and his community the importance of conserving the forest, which provides for their livelihood.
Shirika hili la BirdLife ninalishukuru kwa sababu wakati huu walitupatia mizinga, tena wakatupatia soko. Kusema kweli mimi kama na uwezo ningesema hili shirika lirudi tena, kwa sababu ni kama hilo ndio ambalo limetupatia mwangaza mpaka likatupatia morali zaidi ya kufuga nyuki.
Ecotourism is now a trend way to spend holidays in Africa. Bird watching and distinctive plant species attract ecotourists to Arabuko Sokoke forest.
That one is very common in Arabuko Sokoke.
It becomes like a ranger to guide.
And with the help of local guides, the ecotourists spot all kinds of birds. Some rare ones, such as the Sokoke scope owl, require guides with specialized skills to track this nocturnal species. It is one of the globally threatened bird species only found almost exclusively in this forest. Uluguru Mountains stretch from Kenya to southern Tanzania. These mountains are part of Eastern Arc Mountains and coastal forests, which is among the 35 biodiversity hotspots in the world. Surrounded by a string of forests, the mountains experience heavy rainfall that ameliorate the weather systems. The rains are crucial for the sustenance of agriculture over large areas of Tanzania. Streams of rivers that originate deep in the mountains are an important water source that millions of people in Dar es Salaam and other towns in the coastal region depend on. The general population around the Uluguru Mountains is made of subsistence farmers. With their numbers increasing, the need for more land to grow food is exerting pressure on the forested land. Building on the accomplishments of the project, WCST have introduced new agricultural methods to help farmers benefit from small portions of land without encroaching the forest reserves. Omari is an agroforestry farmer. He has employed the new farming methods on his 1-hectare piece of land. He is pleased the yields are much more than in the past.
Mfano kama mimi nilikuwa nikilima migomba toka zamani, nilikuwa sioni faida yake. Lakini kilimo cha kutumia utaalamu naona faida yake ni kubwa tu. Kwanza kilimo cha utaalamu kinaletea mikungu mikubwa, mavuno mengi tu.
Increased farm output has improved the social economic well-being of this small town of Morogoro. The farmers are able to earn a decent income from their produce. But all is not rosy in Uluguru. Threats to forests such as illegal harvesting of timber is widespread. A solution had to be found, and empowering the local community to take action is the way forward. Conservation across Africa has seen a decrease in the destruction of biodiversity. Various species are getting a better chance to survival. But the future for these species lies in the hands of the local communities through sustainable social and economic activities on the ground.
The African NGO Government Partnerships for Sustainable Biodiversity Action project was an immense success, not only in terms of biodiversity conserved, not only in terms of partnership built, but critically because African solutions were developed for African problems by Africans in the context of the African environment. And these tools are being used well beyond the life of the project, being taken up by other institutions. And the vision is that this spirit, this reliance on ourselves will endure.
Though the African NGO Government Partnerships project ended in the year 2002, its conservation mechanisms are still active at site level.
We at UNDP, we regard this project highly. We feel this project demonstrated what it was meant to demonstrate. We feel this project uplifted government and NGO partnership that it was meant to undertake. We feel that this project demonstrated to the doubting Thomases that government and civil society can come together and work harmoniously in achieving an important goal like conservation of biodiversity.
Sustainable use of natural resources revolves around meeting the needs of the present generation without compromising the ability for future generations to meet theirs. But the global challenge on how to maintain the equilibrium between population, ecosystems, and development is still the subject of inquiry. BirdLife has demonstrated that through building partnerships, it is possible to bring direct benefits to birds, biodiversity, and the people themselves.